There's a saying that what begins with the Jews never ends with the Jews. It's all part of the warning out of Europe, but not just Europe. As John Waage explains from Los Angeles, Israel's enemies number in the millions worldwide, but not all of them have guns and suicide vests. An economic and cultural war is another threat, and the battlefield is the college campuses, courts, and even churches.
When Jerusalem Mayor Nir Barkat tried to address a group of students at San Francisco State last week, he was shouted down by members of the anti-Israel BDS movement. It stands for Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions, and it's a powerful coalition of groups waging an economic and cultural war against Israel. This Stand With Us conference in Los Angeles is an effort to counter the BDS movement, to fight the deluge of anti-Israel hostility on college campuses and social media and in the global economy. Shir, an Israeli student, was shouted down and called a war criminal while she was speaking at a university in Tampa.
They waited outside of the class, and we had to have a police escort to our cars because they kept following us and calling us names. How can you sleep at night? You are a murderer.
It really hurts. As you can see, I'm standing here. I'm a civilized human being. I'm not a war machine.
Alon is a former Israeli soldier. He says he's constantly challenged by rumors and half-truths about Israel by his foreign friends on social media. He was also shouted down on campus by BDS supporters.
Standing up, shouting, screaming, and not even having an open discussion, just throwing out comments in the air without any open dialogue.
No, it's freedom of speech for me, but not for thee. That is what is the mantra of the BDS supporters on college campuses.
San Diego attorney Mika Danzig does pro bono work for people threatened by the BDS movement. He's angered that the freest society in the Middle East is singled out with the help of serial human rights abusers in the rest of the world.
And you're saying the one Jewish state is so deserving of this, then you uniquely attribute all this evil to the one Jewish state. That can't help but spill over to Jews on campus. It can't help but spill over to Jewish businesses, to people who are supportive of Israel, to Zionists, non-Jewish Zionists, Christian Zionists who support Israel. They become the focus of this vitriol and hate, not just Israel.
Several mainline Protestant churches are involved in the BDS economic war on Israel. The push began in the United Nations, targeting Israel for divestment in the same way churches targeted apartheid South Africa in the 1980s. Stand With Us CEO Roz Rothstein says some church leaders have bought into a campaign of disinformation that distorts the true picture in the Middle East.
Because oftentimes it's not the people in the pews that are angry at Israel. It's the people in leadership positions that are moving in this direction and on false information, on half-truths.
Rothstein says she's thankful for the millions of Christians who do support Israel.
I'm a daughter of Holocaust survivors, and I am personally grateful to the community for standing shoulder to shoulder with the State of Israel and the Jewish people on these very difficult issues during these BDS campaigns. So thank you.
John Waage, CBN News, Los Angeles.